morning, gang. Where are we here? Yes. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, we're still here. The cable is still up. The shielding seems to have worked. For those of you who haven't seen it, oh, Jacques is here. Good morning. Hello, hello. Yeah, there were no disturbances, disruptions during the night. I don't know. Where are we here? This was the blog post that explains a bunch of it. And then here was last night's stuff. Long story short, one cable went down 3 nights ago. 2 nights ago, the second cable went partway down. They chewed through the outside of it. So I had to take strong defensive action right away. So yesterday I went to the home center, got some what's it called? The thing you put cables inside. I forget the name of it. And I bought some of that stuff yesterday morning, and yesterday afternoon when the shop was over, I ripped up the floor as you see in those pictures, and I put the round tube in the floor and put the wires through it. So, and I plugged the hole. I totally jammed stuff into the hole, so the rat's conduit. Thank you. So at the moment, that particular battle zone in that particular room is at a stalemate at the moment. The cables seem safe. I'm up and running on the net now. I have no idea why they decided to chew cables, why they thought they were tasty. There was food in the room at the time. They had a half-eaten muffin. Anyway, that's enough of that. We're up and running. The rats are at the moment in abeyance. And it was funny last night, and when I did that work, I put the conduit in, put the cables in, but before I put the floor down, I have to, of course, test it. So I came down to the workshop here, plugged all the wires in, just tested channel A, channel B, all this stuff. All worked really well. But while I was sitting here doing the testing, I could hear happy little footsteps upstairs here in the shops. So I don't know, whatever. The war continues. I didn't have to hit any with my pillow last night. 2 nights ago, yes, but last night, no. Okay, what we're up to now. I get some funny news about this octopus. Some fun news about this octopus. I should just tell you this right away, just so you can go and have a look at it. Printmaker Tom Christensen he's in Tokyo this week. I don't know if you know, I put a link to his work yesterday, Tom Christensen. He's here visiting this week. He might be listening to it today. When he was chatting with me here the other evening, we went for dinner together. He mentioned that, do you know about the guy doing the other version of the octopus print? And I'm like, what do you mean, somebody else doing the octopus print? And he says, yeah, somebody else is reproducing it. And I just basically tossed it off. I had heard that some of the craftsmen here in town, they are doing another Shunga edition, and they're doing an edition of an Utamoto book or something. I don't know what it is. The craftsmen are all working together to put out a Shunga book. But Tom said, no, somebody's doing the octopus. So he gave me a hint. It was a Facebook page, whatever. I Googled it up, tried to search for it, and it is. It's young Shimoi-kun, the young boy who we tried to get to work as a printer for us about a year ago. He had done a sort of rough and ready apprenticeship with one of the printers' workshops here for 3 or 4 years, then had struck out on his own. And he opened a little shop. We linked to it in here and in my Facebook page. He opened a little shop over in Daikanyama, a very high-class area over on the west side of Tokyo. And I went over there to say hello to him and see what was going on, and thought maybe, whatever, we can put work in his shop, he can get work in our shop, anything, do anything to support the guy. He's trying to carve and print reproductions of ukiyo-e prints by himself. We tried to hire him as a printer, but no, he didn't want to do that. He just wants to work by himself and develop a workshop, kind of like I did X years ago, carving and printing ukiyo-e reproductions. So I went to see him, and he had a version of the Great Wave. He had just finished his own version of the Great Wave. In fact, we linked to it in our Facebook page before I actually physically saw it. I have to be careful what I say here, because I know I don't want to sit here and... Let me just link to the guy's page. Let me find it. He's got a Facebook page. I don't think he has a... Oh, crap, I've closed Safari. Hang on a second. I should have got this ready before I... Anyway, long story short, he is making his own version of the Octopus. So let's see. I don't know how... Here it is. Nuclear reproduction. I'll just link to his Facebook page. The English is funny. He doesn't speak English at all. He's used some kind of translation program to get through it. And he has moved away from Daikanyama, the very, very expensive area. And he's got some farmhouse that's being torn down in a few months, and they're letting him live in it till it gets torn down. Here's his Facebook page. You can look at it later. And I got to be careful what I say. The quality of what he's doing wasn't suitable for something we would want to put in our shop at all. It wasn't even remotely close. I think I'll just leave it there. But here it is. Have a look at it. That's the guy, and he's going to get his great wave to market probably before I do, because he just sits there all day with nothing to do except carving and carving and carving. So it's going to be fun to see what he comes up with. In the meantime, I am going to get back to work on mine here. Okay, we're still on this block, we're still on the clearing stage. I did a bit of persuading before the stream opened today to get the noisy stuff over with before the stream came online today. So we're going to finish off the clearing on this. It shouldn't take more than 5 or 10 minutes to clear around the outside of this area, and then we'll start working on the inner areas, the dot, dot, dot pattern for this octopus skin. We'll explain it when I get there in a few minutes. But first, just some rough clearing work around the outside. Registration marks, which I nearly cut away this morning. I love this tool. It's just like using a plane, a raw naked blade. It's so cool. You see what I'm doing? I'm pressing down, down, down. I'm not just slicing across. It would dig in. Pressing down, keeping this low. Beautiful, beautiful tool. Okay, clean around the outside of this little guy's head. Boy, you guys are great answering the questions for me. Before I even see the question there, they're being answered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When I saw Shimoisan's page yesterday, and after Tom showed it to me, I looked through it, and there's a couple of things to note. I know the quality of the work is whatever. I'm not going to talk about that, but the concept, what he's trying to do is he's saying there, it's broken English, but he says what he's trying to do is he's trying to recreate ukiyo-e prints that have very much the look and feel of how they did in the old days. And what he means by that is he's trying to find paper and pigments that pretty much match what they used in the old days. That's not as easy as it sounds, because for one thing, ukiyo-e isn't a single monolithic thing. There were many, many kinds of paper, many levels of work, many different things done. Over the 300x years, whatever, many different things happened and were tried and were published. So it's not a single unified type of thing. I think he's a bit mistaken in trying to find this is the paper that was used for ukiyo-e back in the old days, because it's not how it worked. Expensive prints were done on expensive paper, cheaper stuff was done on cheaper paper. There was no single thing. Anyway, but what he's trying to do is he's trying to do the look and feel. So you can see on the page there, he's doing experiments with, he's going out into the greenery and picking up plants and stuff and trying to figure out how they were used to make pigments in the old days, because most of the pigments were vegetable origin. They were plants or trees, or they'd pull off tree bark and boil it and make a brown or something like this, all that kind of stuff. And it sounds like a real cool thing to do, and it sounds like a real neat idea. Wow, let's make prints that use exactly the same pigments as the old days. And in itself, it's an interesting thing to do, but the problem is, there's a huge problem. Prints you make with those old pigments are not even remotely archival. It wasn't anywhere on the radar of the old people who were making prints to make things last a long time. They were ephemeral objects that were made, consumed, and tossed away pretty much immediately. So the paper turned out to be wonderful. Mulberry paper turns out not to rot, not to get oxidized, not to go brown. They weren't planning it that way. That's just simply inherent quality of the materials. But the pigments are extremely fugitive. If you we're using some of those natural pigments made from tree bark and petals and all that kind of stuff. The colors look, wow, cool, so beautiful. You hang them on the wall, and that's it. You're done. You're gone. It's a question of weeks and days and weeks and a couple of months before you're out of it. The only prints that have survived from the old days with any semblance of original color left are those that were shut away in drawers and never looked at. And we ourselves, we don't use those old pigments for this reason. We use mineral pigments. This started in the late Meiji and came through the 20th century. And we can get a semblance of nice color. I mean, you know, it's blue, but it might not have the exact rich little deep blue tint that a flower petal had. But we can get a nice blue out of it. And our blue will last X hundreds of years as opposed to the flower petal blue, which will last days. So, anyway, I'm simplifying it a little bit, but that's the point. You know, he's looking for total authenticity, and he's going to get it if he finds it, but he's not going to have a practical product at the end of the day. Certainly in an era when people want to buy these things and hang them on the walls. So this is why we don't play that game. We don't work to that standard or work to that goal. I want to make a print that is an attractive object, whether it is 100% exactly authentically going to strike your eye as the same way it struck the eye of a consumer back in 1830. I don't know, but that's an impossibility anyway for many, many reasons. I want to make a print that honors what the original was, that's certainly carved with lines that have that taste, printed with colors that look attractive. But I can't pretend that it strikes your eye the same way that it struck the eye of the 1830 viewer. And my God, our lighting environment is different. Everything is different. There's no way we can do that, even if you had the same materials in your workshop. The surrounding lighting environment is different. The people's eyes are different. Anyway, that's his stated goal. That's what he's working towards. I just wish he would work with a bit more precision in his carving and printing. It's sad for me to see that he's doing such interesting work, and yet it's just missing that last nicely refined edge and taste. Quality. Missing the stream here. We've got stuff going on. I'm missing the chat here. What have we got? Oh my God, look at this. Talk. Sorry about this. What's the depth we're carving? I stay within 4 to 5 millimeters. You can see here, I stay within 4 to 5 millimeters. I don't know. John's asking here, is Shimoi-san trying to reproduce the slapdash part of those prints? I'm really not sure. I'm not sure if that's the way to describe them. Now, some prints, cheaper prints were made cheaply and expensive prints were made with care. But I don't think it's slapdash. All of the guys in the old, the standard quality was really high in general, and the mistakes I see in Shimoi-san's print are just, I think, lack of ability. I don't know. I gotta be careful. I mean, this is going to be recorded. This is on the internet. I don't want to sit here saying bad things about people. The boy, I thought, was doing something really interesting and really nice. We tried to support him. We tried to get him here as a printer, and we give him extra work, and told him we'd sell him his prints. But crap, I can't do that. I just feel sad about it. So. Okay, this guy's head is now rounded off. We'll We've got one last area to do here around the edge of the octo then. You see what I did? Before the stream started today, I was doing a bit of hammering. I hammered out this side. I got this side cleared, ready for printing. I didn't have enough time to do this side. But what we're going to do this morning is I want to get busy with the next stage of this. So I'll clear the edge of this now. I'll clear the edge away. And then we're going to investigate how the next part of this is going to happen. Because I've told you there's going to be dots. Anyway, let me just get to it. Just give me a few minutes. Get the edge of this away. And then we'll see how the pattern transfers are going to work. This piece of wood we're doing, this top half of it is much harder than the bottom half. I wasn't aware of this when I started, It's really quite different. Even in one particular plank, I don't know what it would be. Maybe the west side of the tree and the east side of the tree had different environment or something. I have no idea how this could happen. But carving here, and just over here, a few centimeters away, it's quite a different feel and quite a different hardness. It's almost hard enough to be used as a key block. It's okay for this one because we're going to be carving small dots, dots, which can benefit from the hardness. So this is not a defect for us here, but it's just an interesting point. We had one of the parties yesterday. It was a fun party. It was 5 guys here, 5 big guys from New Zealand, and not really the kind of people that would be normally interested or attracted to this thing. They're part of a larger group. I think he said there were 20 or so people in the group. They're here from different countries gathering together, and one of the guys getting married here. In fact, that's today, Sunday. So yesterday, on the last day before getting married, this guy comes for a print party. And it was fun. They had a good time. They're pretty laid back. They've been here in Tokyo for a while, a week or so. They've been, out, eating and drinking and generally laying back and having fun, getting ready for the ceremony today. But it did seem a bit surreal that on the day before getting married, this group of big men, like rugby playing type, big New Zealand men, would come here and make a woodblock print. Just a little bit surreal. Had good fun. They were easygoing with it. It was really mainly because one of the guys in the group knew our work, and he's been buying the stuff before. I guess they're in Tokyo, looking around for things to do in general. You can't just sit there drinking all the time. I think they were at the Robot Cafe or something the day before. And today they're all getting suited up over at some hotel somewhere out there, I guess, having their wedding today. Woodblock, probably don't advertise them as bachelor parties, but that's what it was yesterday. Come to Mocha, Hong Kong for your bachelor party, your last chance for free life before you get married. It just sounds so bizarre. We had good fun, a bunch of good guys, all different age groups. So. And tattoos, man, oh man, tattoos. Bachelor party, print party. Well, it wasn't a stag party in terms of, drunk and stuff, whatever. They had, like I said, it was a congenial, friendly group. They'd been gathering in Tokyo. I guess members have been arriving one at a time, getting ready for the wedding today. They had been in a few days ago to see us. One of the guys who is a fan of our work. I guess he had convinced the other members of the group, come on, let's do this thing. Let's make a print together. Yeah. And they would not have normally thought of such a thing, but they played the game and came along. They had an okay time. So I wouldn't call it a stag party. There was no beer on offer. I'm sorry, we can't. I could have maybe done that under the table. I don't know. But I think actually they've had enough drinking and stuff for the rest of the day. So here in the afternoon, it wouldn't have been appropriate anyway. They do a hug. I actually was thinking about suggesting that, but just because from there New Zealand, you got to be careful not to too much. What's the word? Not generalize. Fall into cliched stuff with them. But yeah, maybe we should have done that. Done it as a live stream too. Here we are, live stag party from Mokuhanga in Tokyo. We'll start with a haka. They're good people. It was good fun. And we normally do 2 prints. They go 2 passes through a normal print party because sometimes the first one doesn't work out quite as well as it might have done, or sometimes weird. So we do 2, but a couple of these guys, they really weren't inherently interested in it, so they just did 1 copy, then sat down and took a break while the other guys did their second copy. But it's fine, they were good sports. We got our graduation picture at the end of it. I suppose in his wedding album, years from now, he'll be sitting in his rocking chair showing his grandchildren his wedding album of the wedding they had in Tokyo. And there's this print party is going to be in the middle. Okay. There we go. The outlining is now done. This bit will be cleared off later when I get a chance to be noisy. Let's get a chance now to try and show you what's really going to happen with this block. And to do that, let me zoom in on one. Let me find a spot to identify to show you here. And then let me zoom in on it. Hang on a sec. Let me get my tracing ready. Here. Tracing ready. Let's try and explain this again. Okay. Where should I pick as a spot? Just give me a minute to try and find out what's a good place to start. That'll give you the idea what's going on here. Okay, maybe this one. We can identify them. Let me zoom in on this, get my scope ready. Let's get the spot here. Okay. Okay. Let's try and figure this out. What we've got here is one particular piece of the octopus. Let's locate the same thing on the original print. Here it is. Here it is on the print itself. All right, now what we've got, the octopus itself has two colors. There's a base tone. There's a base, you can see it under here easier. There's a base beige tone. The woman's body is going to be white. The octopus has a beige tone at the bottom of it. We've already done that block. It's separate. It's done. It's waiting for us. This block we're doing now is the orange overtone on the octopus. And it has a darker orange tone. It's got dots. And it's got an interesting characteristic. They have carved the orange tone around the edge of the key block lines. And this was the conundrum for me. What I need to do is, in order to carve this thing around the key block lines, I had to make a transfer, like you see here. I transferred from the key block and pasted it down. And that's going to give me the exact location of that key line so that I could trace that orange line right in this zone that I'm drawing now. Not drawing it, I'm showing you. There will be an orange line there, and I'll carve that now starting in a few minutes. But also, all over the place, it's not just the orange line that's near the key block line, there are dots everywhere. That information doesn't transfer from the key block, and I took that, as you saw a couple of weeks ago, I traced from this image on my iPad. And what I've done there is I've printed that out now from the iPad, and that's here. Now the dots I traced on the iPad, and I traced the edge of the line where it breaks into solid orange color. And in a couple of places I did put the line, but this is unreliable. This key line here is traced from the original drawing, but maybe my knife wavered and I cut it in a different place. So I cannot use this key line. In fact, in most places here, I didn't even draw it. All I drew here was the dots. Long story short, and what we're going to do right now is let's wash off, it'll be three stages. First, I cut the outside orange line against the key line. Then I'll wash this off and I'll transfer onto it this piece that will give me the location of the dots. And I'll be doing that piece by piece by piece for all of these. I can't do the whole sheet all at once. There's no way it's going to be accurate enough. We'll do this piece by piece. So step one, let me have a look at the original right next to where I am here. Figure out where the orange lines need to be and cut it. There is a line along the north edge, the top edge of that thing. There's no specific, this one here, it is. It comes along the edge of this part too, and then it breaks into dots. And it breaks into dots, and then it matches up against the tentacles. Don't tell me this is confusing, but there's no way around it. It has to. And again, in the old days, there was no reason for doing this. Simply, they would carve the key block, and then somebody, either Hokusai or one of his assistants or somebody in the publishing house, would then just draw the dots on this sheet. So here, this will be the orange line that rides on the inside of the outline. Then there will be orange coming right up the tentacles, so the suckers, so I'll leave it here. And we'll just take away a shiver here, just a shiver, because this area is going to have orange dots. Okay, we're there. Let's wash off. We've got all the information we need now from the key block here. We've got the information about that outside line. We've got the information from the suckers. What we need now is to get the information for the dots in the middle. First, this paper has to come off. I don't have my toothbrush with me there. Where is it? Well, let's go and get the piece of transfer. It'll be just this little piece. Figure out where it goes. Looks good to me. applicator is dried up. I'm missing what you're talking about here. I'm sorry. Ah, la, 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 la. And this being Gampi, we can peel away a bit from the back. It's a bit too wet, so I should be careful here. Crows are crazy out there today, so Sunday. There's no garbage pickup today, so the crows won't be picking up garbage. The town cleanup was busy. All the old folks were out there with their brushes and brooms. That's long finished now at this time, nearly 9 o'clock. They're out there at like 6 o'clock or something, I don't even know. Alright, we have our dots visible from Hokusai's original through to the iPad, through to Gampi paper, and now onto the block in, I believe, exactly the right position. And it might be a tiny bit confusing. These black dots are what we're going to leave here. And these black dots, can I get in closer? Maybe. These black dots are what we're going to leave here, and those black dots are what we'll print later here as orange dots. And it's orange dots, and it breaks into an orange solid color pattern here, and that's what you're seeing here. The black dots break into the solid pattern. So I'll be leaving this solid pattern here, which runs from the dots right down to, can you see it? This is the holes where the suckers are. And there we know they're in exactly the right place because we transferred from my key block. I don't know if the explanation makes any sense. I'm sorry, it's a confusing thing, but it's worked. It has given me the exact reproduction of all these dots that were on the original print, and they'll be in my reproduction. I'm curious how Shimoi-san, in his own version of the reproduction, is going to do this. I doubt he has an iPad. I doubt he has high magnification like this. No idea what he's going to do. It's funny, he and I have different ideas of what's more important. For me, it's the lines and the shape of the dots and the registration and making it clean is more important. And for him, it's those pigments. It's funny, which I don't care about at all. Different priorities and a very interesting approach. And as you can see from this block is going to take a day or two, so you better get used to this. We're going to be with this one for a while. Today is Sunday. I'll probably be back here tomorrow doing this. And, Tuesday will be off. Wednesday will be a sizing stream for sure. As I mentioned before, Shiba-san and I will be upstairs doing some sizing work together on Wednesday. She's out of stock on her ghost prints. She has to make, actually too, what we'll be seeing there, that I should mention that. She's doing paper sizing for a new batch, a new run of her Contented Spirit in the Ghost series, but she is now ready to start printing on the newest print in her ongoing Ghost series. And that's what we're sizing the paper for. She and I will be sizing the paper for. So she may have already done a test printing, and if she does, I'll be asking her to bring it so we can see what the test print looks like. Or maybe this paper is for the test print, I don't know. Anyway, news coming up. There will be a new edition, a new print of Shiba Amy's Ghost series coming up in the next couple of weeks. And that's been only happening like once a year or so. But we'll see if we can get her, if she'll give us the blocks to start printing them here. She'll be able to get more than one print a year finished. I see black marks there. Somebody's talking to me. I missed most of this. I'm sorry. Whatever. He pasted a straight copy to print on the blocks. You're talking about Shimoi-san. Good luck with that, because there's lots of stuff you can't see on the original print, but whatever. Go for it. No problem carving in wood that's been moistened. Only very slightly. You saw me. I just dabbed some glue in it. It's soaked straight in. This has not been soaked at all. Shiba-san, Ghost. There's two. This will be the third print in what she is coming to call the Ghost series. The first two don't actually match in size. The first one she made, the one that's the Sho Kera print, talking about that bad day on the calendar when the spirits come out of your body and make the report to the gods. That was a smaller size. She then moved up for the second one to a traditional Oban size, Nishiban size, for her second one in the Ghost series. And from now on they are going to be that larger size. So she regrets making the first one a bit smaller. She didn't have the experience. But she said from now on the Ghost series is going to continue, she says, and they're all going to be Oban size, Nishiban size, the full traditional ukiyo-e print. So the first one was Sho Kera, and at that time she wasn't calling it the Ghost series, it was just simply a print she made. It became successful, so she thought about the idea of taking the concept farther and developed it into what she calls the Ghost series. The second one was called Contented Spirit, and this third one, I don't know the name. I'm sorry, I should have perhaps looked it up, or maybe there isn't a name yet, I don't know. It's something to do with a spider and death, and there's a lot of blood in it. And it might not be for the faint-hearted. It's in the true, like Yoshitoshi tradition. So there'll be more info as we get closer, obviously. As I said, we're going to do the sizing. She asked me to prepare 40 sheets of paper, which will give 80 prints. I think this is going to be 80 prints, meaning a reprint of the Contented Spirit, and then the new one. We'll talk more about it Wednesday when she's here. She can explain. very pleased to be helping her get this stuff off, up and launched, One part of it, coming up with the concept, designing and printing is okay, but if she didn't have a mouthpiece like we have here, she'd just be sitting in her own room making it by herself. But we've provided a communication to the outside world for her, which is just, it's made it possible to do what she's doing. Not just make prints, but get them out into the world. That's perfect. She helps make our business more interesting, and we provide the infrastructure for her to get the stuff out there. She's a fun kid, she's spirited, but my God, she's got a temper. Maybe it goes with the territory, I don't know. The creative stuff, I don't know. No idea. Sometimes we talk about the different kinds of glue that we paste these things down with. Remember, when I talk about doing the key lines, we use actual wood glue. When I pasted this one down a few minutes ago, you saw me use the little mucilage glue. You can see what happens here. Look at this. As I carve these, the black paper, the paper is ripping off. This is not glued down very well. And if this were key block lines, I'd be in real trouble, because you'd cut along one half of the key block line. And before you can cut and get the other side done, the paper would be peeling off. So we would need absolutely stronger glue. This is why we use the two types of glue. This one here today is fine. As I'm doing each blob, it starts to peel off, but these are little blobs, it's okay. But this glue would not be strong enough to use for key blocks. We have time, we're okay? Still no problem, right? Not even 9 o'clock yet, no problem. What are we asking? How about that new Hasui print? The new Hasui print production has begun. I got the proof prints from young Yamamoto-san the other day. When I did sizing, last, whatever day it was when I did sizing, it was the paper for that one. And it's now in production. I've got it right here, just so you know everybody knows what we're talking about here. The other day, when I was doing paper sizing, I showed you this thing. Oops. So what Mr. Kantar is talking about here is the new Hasui print coming up. It's called Snow at Funabori. This is one of the proof prints from young Yamamoto-san. We've got the blocks from the Doi Hanga Company. The original was Showa 7, I can never remember. Showa 7, it must be 1932, 1932. Snow at Funabori. And this was his proof print, and the warmer publishing won't look exactly like this. I'm really enjoying his colors, but we need a deeper dark. Inside the house here, around the window, over here. This has to be darker background to make that print glow more. So the one Kantar is talking about is the new Hasui print. It's being printed as we speak. It's going to take a day or two. So it'll be a couple of weeks, and I won't have a video about it because Yamamoto-san works in his own workshop. He doesn't work here, so I have no way to take process video of that one. What are we talking about here? Don't forget to take her paper out of the fridge. I don't take Shiba-san's paper out of the fridge. She works on her own basis here. She's not one of our staff printers. Shiba-san works here in the shop doing print parties on Wednesday. She sometimes uses the room upstairs to do her own covering and printing, but it's not my stuff. It's up to her. What's this? Never forget. John, I'm not sure if that's the right call, but whatever. What are you doing? Clipping? John, I know that much. What I can't remember is show 7. Quick, what is it? What is it? I know how to multiply. I know how to work it out. I'm show 26, 1951. So that's my starting point for the arithmetic. Oh, interesting point coming up. John has mentioned something here about the old era names. Going back, we are in Heisei now, Showa, Taisho, Meiji. Many of you know the emperor is changing. For the first ever in a bajillion hundreds of years, they're having an abdication here. It's happening next spring. I forget the date. Is it March 30th? Whatever. Somebody can Google it. The current emperor is abdicating next spring. His son is going to take over. It's all being arranged long in advance. The emperor himself put up a YouTube video basically asking for help. He was getting too old. He couldn't do this job anymore. He went round the bureaucracy and put up a YouTube video by himself. Anyway, long story short, there is an abdication coming and the era name is changing. We are now in Heisei and it will change to something else. And normally, when an emperor, dies as it is, then they decide what the new era name is, and the next morning one of the government functionaries holds up the sign saying it's going to be whatever it is. And I myself remember, Obuchi-san, I remember this when Heisei was announced. We saw this all over the place, holding it up to the front page of the newspaper, Heisei, bang, bang, bang. There's a huge discussion going now. Should they wait till he abdicates before choosing the name, or should they choose it in advance? And because the whole thing is being planned in advance, business and general consensus in the community is they should choose the era name in advance so that people can get calendars ready and all that stuff, and the guys who publish notebooks and, whatever, all common sense. And it seems that that's what they're doing, although no clear announcement has yet been made. It seems that they are going to work it out, they, meaning the government and the imperial, whatever it is, are going to work it out in advance. But there's an interesting twist to it. Business and stuff like that has made a huge request of the government. Please choose a name that doesn't start with the letter H, S, M, or T. As it is right now. It says, my birthday is S261111, which means Showa 26, November the 11th. H such and such and such. So it's used as an abbreviation. Now, as it happens, Heisei's been 30 years, Showa was 60-odd years, Taisho was some teens years, and then Meiji was 30-odd years. So add them all together, and nobody is left alive who is in an era older than those 4. So the request has gone to the government, don't choose an era name that starts in Roman letters, that starts with an M, S, H, or a T. And it seems that that's been accepted. And that's well over a huge chunk of the Japanese alphabet. When you say you can't start with the letter T, it means ta, chi, tsu, tse, to, all this kind of stuff. So it's actually 5 syllables are knocked out. So this means there's 20 syllables out of a grand total of only 47 in Japanese. 20 syllables have been knocked out for the initial character of this name. So it's good fun. The guys in the back room must have had all these interesting names and, oh crap, I can't use this one because it starts with an M, I can't use this because it starts with a T. So they're busy fiddling out what to do with this puzzle. And those of us in normal society are waiting, and I presume the announcement will be made. Well, I don't know, it could go either way. They could make the announcement of the name earlier so that people can get calendars ready, or they may wait for the day. Which way that call is going to go, I of course have no inside track on. Who comes up with a name? No, it's the government, the ruling government, and there may be consultation. I don't think there's consultation with the new emperor himself, but there could be consultation with the Imperial Household Agency. I don't know at all. I think it's mostly a government matter. I don't really know. But this is an interesting twist on it. It seems that they're not going to use the same. And the betting odds are that it's going to start with a K. And if that's where I was going to put my money, that's where I would put my money. Because the era name previous to Meiji, I can't remember what it was, Kaio or Keio or something like this. Nobody is left alive who was born there, and there are many, many, many numbers of many words and compounds that start with lettering from the K part of the alphabet, Kaki, Ku, Ke, Ko. So the what's it called? The line, the betting line is on something that will start with K, and then inside there, will it be ka, ki, ku, ke, or ko? My bet is on K. You heard it here first. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. And there are betting pools, absolutely. There are betting pools on this here all over the place. I should have been working while I was talking. I didn't have to sit and look at the camera. What an idiot. I could have got this thing nearly finished by now. Japan is a fun place, and it never ends. It just never ends. The twists and quirks and turns just never end. Same as anywhere, I guess. I don't know. Octopus dots. How did you spend your life? I spent a big chunk of mine carving dots representing texture on octopus skin. Oh, interesting. What do you mean? What was the octopus doing? Well, it's a long story. speaking earlier about these dots, the way I created these dots was we traced them in the iPad off a scan of the original print. And bringing that up reminds me that that's what I was doing last night now. Last night it was back on the iPad, not for this print, the Octopus print, but for this year's upcoming gift print. The image has been decided. I prepared a blank image file in the iPad, scanned in something to act as a starting point, and tracing began last night. And it may be one of the streams coming up, actually, because I've got to get that project going. It's too bad I can't just work straight through on this Octopus, especially now that Shimoi-san has got his version coming. I really would like to get mine done. It's, who's going to be first to market? He is, clearly. But unfortunately, I have to also do other things. So we will be seeing some tracing work, I think, for the upcoming gift print. And that could be happening. I don't know, it could be happening tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know my schedule here. And to put you all out of your misery, is it going to be an owl? No, it's not an owl, of course. Last year's gift print was an owl. This year's is not an owl. I wouldn't do that 2 years in a row. We do have another owl project cooking. It's nothing to do with the gift print. Yumi-san, our fourth carver, is at the moment tracing a hunchta for an owl print that will go into our general stock. But the gift print this year won't be an owl. But it will be a relative. Can I leak that much? No. I'm not sure if that does leak that much. I'm a relative of an owl, if you look at it that point of view. It's a fairly close relative of an owl. Okay, that was the easy part. You can see what we've done now. So what you're looking at, these are the parts. There's some junk here. So use your imagination here. These dots here and this line here will all be orange. These will be orange highlights. Let's get some of this paper off. And this, so it'll be a line along the edge, dots in the middle, and then a solid orange coming up to the suckers. And if we pull up the original again, the reference again, this is the area we're talking about. So it'll be a full line along the edge. Their line broke. Now in the original, we fixed that. Their line broke. We'll have dots in the middle. You saw me carve them just now. And then a solid orange area coming up to the area of the suckers. Actually, seeing that line, that reminds me. I know Shimoi-san, the young boy we're talking about, he's doing a version of the Octopus. On his webpage, somewhere, on his Facebook page, somewhere, he talks about his philosophy and what he's doing and blah, blah, blah. I mentioned about the thing he wants to do original colors. He also says he keeps defects. he feels it's really important when there's a broken line in the original, he makes a broken line in his version too. I myself think that's I can't say a mistake, I follow a different pattern. The break to me was it's an error. It's not something that's part of a design. We're not trying to make a forgery type reproduction here where somebody will hold it in their hands and think, is this the original? I don't want to do prints that look like that. So I will happily fix that line and clean it up. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it for this corner. Let's pull the paper off, see what it looks like. Okay, there we have it. And that's the way this whole block is going to go. Piece, let me zoom out a bit more. That's the way this whole block is going to go, piece by piece by piece. I've done that one, next one, maybe do the head or whatever, next I'll do this, next I'll do this. One by one by one. We're going to cut that outline first, then paste the paper on and cut the dots. And then of course after test printing we come back and fool around with it and see what needs to be. See what needs to be adjusted. Okay, again. Whoa. Questions. The era name, K's, M's, whatever. Somebody's betting 50 pounds on MA. It's not going to work because you can't start with the letter M because that was Meiji. As I said, M is out, T is out because of Taisho, S is out because of Showa, H is out because of Heisei. So if you're guessing Ma, you're already almost certainly going to lose your money. I threw Cameron under the bus. I don't know what you're talking about here, whatever. There's 6 conversations going on. I know nothing about Germany, I'm sorry. Away we go. Hi. Where am I? Did Dave get his start in Japan working for a random job for a visa, or was he able to use his carving to move? Neither. And I put up 2 videos recently, Beginnings Part 1 and Beginnings Part 2, which talked about this. I worked in my home as an English teacher. I opened the classes, private English school, come to Papa Dave and learn English. So for the first few years, 1986 through to 1990, the first 4 years, I taught English in my home to feed myself and feed my kids until the printmaking was at a level to go ahead and fly. We overlapped for 1 year, 1990 to 1991. Then I closed the English school, and since 1991, it's been printmaking all the way. And we talked about those two things in those videos. And the first entry to me, the key, and I didn't even know this, was because my partner was Japanese. The lady who I had kids with, we weren't married, but the lady who I had kids with was Japanese. And that was my entry to get a visa in the beginning. I'm now no connection with her. She and I are divorced long ago, so she's not my visa anymore. I'm a permanent resident in my own right here. But yeah, those two videos tell that story. What else questions to answer? Those children's toys, yeah, those children's toys, man, oh man, oh man. They're cool, they were really good. It could have easily, if my little mental switch had just gone the other way, I would have gone with toys. It would have been a huge ton of fun. But it would have been a different life than I have now. Making toys was really good fun. It's a long, so we should talk about it in its own right, you know. Also, I know, what was it last time? 9:17, we are getting close to that time. Look at this. This is Kawai-san. Good morning, good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. He helped me last night. I was just finishing up at the shop here, did some printing upstairs on the North Korea print. And I was in trouble. I couldn't get the furniture moved and the tatami up last night. So he helped me pull all the room apart with the tatami and everything before we left last night. Okay, let's wrap this up. You've seen what I'm doing. It's now 9:20. I've got to get going. What's today? Today's Sunday. There will be a stream tomorrow morning. It could be just me continuing exactly what you've seen here today, doing the next one and the next one and the next one. It won't be a sizing stream, I don't think, unless one of the printers really surprises me with a request this afternoon. It could be an iPad tracing stream as I get ready for this year's New Year's gift print. I'm really not sure. The North Korea print, we've explained this. It's a set of Hasui blocks that were discovered in America a couple of years ago. Blocks for a woodblock print. Many designers here, Hasui and other people, Shinsui, whatever, they were sent overseas during the war to do propaganda pictures of Manchukuo, the part of China that Japan had invaded, and Korea, which Japan had owned for 50 years by that time. So they were sent to do propaganda pictures of areas under Japanese control to show how the people were happy, happy, happy Japanese. Those prints are usually not much seen anymore. They're of no interest. Anyway, the blocks for one of them surfaced in America a while ago. And the owner of that block set has arranged with a Japanese print dealer in America to have a bunch of prints made from it. I'm not publishing them. That print dealer is coordinating with Kawai-san, who I am loaning to him actually. And Kawai-san is doing a bunch of editions from those blocks. I'm not at liberty to scan them and show them. It's not my project, but to the print dealer, when they're ready, I guess they'll be announcing it to the world. And the physical prints are being made here upstairs, but not under my brand name. Yeah, we've got a link here. There's a conversations link. Okay, good. Kamazelo, I'm just going to sign off.
Hello, good morning.
Last night, mice, I think no rats, it seems okay. I slept right through last night. Nezumi no oto ga zenzen nakatta. So then maybe we're okay for the next step. So who knows? Oh, the internet's okay at the moment. There is one more place though. The rats are in the closet here, and the cables are open here. So if they're really determined to take those cables, hontoni kono internet kamitai, kono naki mo haite masu kara. We'll see. I might have to do more of this coax stuff. Okay, anyway, I got to get out of here. We've got a ton of work waiting to be. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, either here or upstairs or somewhere. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Switch off the first camera. 今hot mic カメラオフですが、このマイクがまだライブです。そう、マイキャメラちゃんと一緒にちょっといろいろ話したんですが、あれ Anyway, signing off. Goodbye. Thanks for now.